Martini Shot in film terms means the last shot of the day. And so more or less references that Steve's, who the director is in the film, is it's his last shot. And so that's why I named it that. The film's about a film director who believes that he's God. And when he finds out he's dying, he decides to make one last film and decides to shoot it in Ireland.
It's a feature film, big name cast, and it is one of the first feature films to come to Limerick on the back of the presence of Troy Studios. And while it's not using the facilities at Troy Studios, they came because all the people and the services are now here in Limerick. So the industry is now starting to begin in Limerick, and we're going to see a lot more of it in the future. Big names, we're talking about Matthew Modine, Stranger Things, Birdie, Full Metal Jacket. We're talking about John Cleese, Derek Jacobi, Stuart Townsend.
Matthew's awesome. Like no word of a lie. He's the nicest, kindest actor. I've been really lucky in my life to work with some big guys. I directed Burt Reynolds' last movie, and Burt and Matthew are the same. They're true professionals, but they're movie stars. Like they understand what it's like to carry the film on their back, and have lead people into battle. But he's as good of an actor he is. He's even better as a man. He's just lovely.
But as Steve says in the script that he's this character that I'm playing is no more than a mere thread in the fabric of the universe. He's a painter with a billion colors at his disposal. But what this film is really about is the celebration of creation, and that can be a person who's built this camera that's photographing me. That's a piece of art. It's a piece of creation. It's not. Is it more special than the person who works in the fields and plants potatoes? That's another form of creation. Or the woman who wakes up early in the morning and bakes you bread that you have for breakfast. It's beautiful, and there's a consideration that goes into that creation, so that we're surrounded by creation. And so what I think that more importantly that the film talks about is that creation and how beautiful it is to be a creator.
Okay. So one of the things that we're doing in Limerick, last year I set up a company, setextras.ie, so that we would be able to supply extras from the Midwest area. Normally it's with companies from Dublin, and sometimes they have to ship them down the country. We wanted to make sure that local extras were being used. So setextras.ie, it's free to sign up, and you never know, you could sign up tonight at 7 o'clock and get a phone call at 8 o'clock to come out on a film set the next day.
Extras, we're using a lot of local crew, and they're all phenomenal. They're all incredibly hardworking, very nice. You wouldn't know the difference between a Canadian to American to a British to an Irish crew member. They're phenomenal.
With the exception of the main actors, you're talking about the lesser actors like myself, the background actors, the people doing catering, etc. They're all local people. And if they're not local to Limerick, they're local to Kerry or to Tipperary or Clare. So it makes a huge difference. People don't realise. You might see a movie with 10 people in it, and you're talking at least 100 people in the background.
Yeah, but it's once we start building it, and what Troy have been doing in the courses they're running, a huge part of it is when we're able to have our own local crew, and that's been happening. My brother got into film this year, worked in Troy for the whole first season of Night Flyers. A few people who've been on this shoot are in as trainees, so there's on Night Flyers as well. So there is the building of Limerick crew. There are a few established Limerick race crew, but they, like me, predominantly spend most of their time working in the east. So yeah, bit by bit, once our crew are up to scratch and we can again have most of our workforce coming from this area, it'll mean a huge difference. Once we have the space and the workforce here, the work will come.
We've actually been very blessed that our locations coordinator is Sean Flynn, and we're shooting at his family home, which is phenomenal. It's called Thornfields.
This is my family home, yeah. So it's it's great. Like a situation like this is always mad because you don't do it unless it is appropriate to. In that when I got the requests for what they were looking for a scene, I went, that's pretty much my sitting room. and we have enough space out here to facilitate our trucks and our vehicles, and we had enough room for hair and makeup and wardrobe and cast rooms and a production office, so it kind of made sense to come out here. It was easy peasy. It's a nice controlled day to start the beginning of the week, and yeah, kind of sets us off in the right kind of mark. So it's great. So it's great to have my mom's help and my dad and my brothers and sisters, all the family are kind of around, and it's a nice day and everyone's enjoying it.
Ireland, because I've been here when I was younger, and it's really a fascinating country, and I think that the rest of the world doesn't really explore it the way it should, and I felt that we could have that, you know, those eyes of a director as he's looking at the prettiest country there is.
Well, Ireland for a long time has been the place to shoot movies because we've got the best scenery. We're also on this side of the country, we've got the best light because it shines off the Atlantic, so it's much better light in Galway, Limerick, Kerry and Cork than you would have on the East Coast. We have also got one of the big draws is the tax breaks.
Because it actually offers wonderful tax credits, 32% on your budget, and that is very attractive to a filmmaker.
And that's all down to Michael D. Higgins, our president. He turned around in the 90s and said, what are we going to do to boost the film industry? And he had the foresight as the Minister for Arts, Culture and the Gaeltacht was his portfolio then, to help to introduce the tax incentives. And that made a huge difference to the film industry in Ireland.
Yeah, the ruins, the charm of the little towns, that all plays a part of what you want. You want a beautiful piece of work at the end of the day, and Ireland is able to afford us that.
Well, you have especially scenery. There's a lot of having our west coast, having our lakes, having a different type of town and village and city helps. Limerick is a brilliant Georgian city, has a lot more of Georgian aspects to it than even Dublin has these days. It is a place that isn't too busy for filming. Traffic isn't bad. There's a lot of nice hotels and amenities that can work out, but it's always trying to show places that haven't been seen before or seen a million times. So countryside is lovely, and our access to beautiful coastlines, beaches and lakes and woods.
It's a beautiful area, you know. It's one of those things where I think sometimes people don't always, you know, especially Americans and Canadian. I'm Canadian, but like, you know, you kind of get into this world where I only shoot in LA or I only shoot in New York or I only shoot in Toronto, and I think that you miss out on all these beautiful places, you know. Ireland has this great history and it has these phenomenal locations. You know, we couldn't duplicate what we have in this film in any other country but Ireland.
You know, we have the amenities and the facilities here to do stuff. You know, we have had Star Wars, Vikings, Penny Dreadful. You know, this year Night Flyers, Into the Badlands. You know, the big shows. We've got the rhythm section. They've got these huge movies and huge shows that are coming here because, you know, it's a good place to work, and it has the crew and the talent that can do these big shows.
To be fair, we've had some trouble because, you know, we had 8 days in a row of, you know, rain while we're shooting, and it's not consistent. So it's not like you get 8 hours of rain and okay, I can shoot a rain scene. It's 8 hours of rain and then, you know, sunny, and then, you know, so it makes it difficult because it takes a while to, you know, it takes us 4 to 6 hours to shoot a scene sometimes, and the weather here does not stay normal for 6 hours.
Brilliant being around Limerick and Clare, because it's an area that, while filming has taken place a good bit in the past, it's still an area where we could have we could facilitate a lot more movies. You know, most of the action is still on the East Coast, a bit in Galway, and with the introduction of Troy and movies like this, it kind of helps to showcase the Midwest region, Clare, Limerick and the West Coast, as somewhere that is very attractive location-wise, and has the kind of support of councils and businesses and private owners to get movies done.
It is part of our business model that we were planning to start this year. Well, actually next year was our official starting, to do 6 films a year in Ireland.
But this team Sue and Stephen and Mike and Anthony and Russ and all the Canadians have come over. Have been a dream to work with. They're hard workers, they're good lads, they have a great attitude, and it's all been really lovely doing this together. So so far so good, and yeah, hopefully we'll make movies together in the future.
The film has got a fantastic script, fantastic production team, very, very good cast, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the finished product and seeing how it's received at the other end. I think it's going to do really well. The Martini Shot, look out for it.